boys and girls, to another episode of Chicken Bone Alley, brought to you by SRI Performance, Stock Car Steel and Aluminum, Draco Springs, RK Motorsports Consulting, and Earl Ramey Racing Engines.
Yes, sir.
It's a mouthful. What's up, guys? I'm David.
I'm Sterling. What's up, y'all?
I'm just gonna let y'all guys know, because me and Sterling been sitting here talking about it. This is the last time y'all were gonna hear us on this mic setup.
Yeah, I don't think from what I hear, it don't sound too bad. And it really doesn't.
It don't.
But it's just harder to set up here. Maybe or the way you have to do it. I don't really do any setup because you wouldn't be able to hear us if I was doing it. But yeah, it's gonna be good. Got us a new little doohickey or whatever, mixer or something.
Yeah, we're getting an actual podcast mixer, so a Zoom podcast mixer. So
we're moving up, That's all right. They're paying us too much. We gotta slow down.
We gotta slow down. But what is going to allow us to do, which is really the reason behind getting it, is that it's portable. And our setup here is portable, but not as easily portable as this new setup will be. The new one I can literally, for phone calls and everything, I can line straight into my phone, and just very easy. Yeah,
that'd be nice.
And we can go to the racetrack.
Yeah. And
set up, and we can do live podcasts from the track, or
live interviews, whatever.
Live interviews, and we might can DJ some at the track instead of DJing at weddings.
Yeah, that'd be more my speed.
We got goals. We got goals, people. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and get right into it, because there's this new big old black thing sitting out there in your parking lot out here.
In the parking lot, yeah.
Yeah.
So I had to get me something a little more pulling power there. Part on a machine shop here in Florence, and I've had diesels and 2500s and stuff forever, and I was having trouble with mine. The other one, and I sold it. Well, bought a Ford 250 and had nothing but problems with it. Brand new, but had nothing but problems with it. I ain't knocking all you Ford lovers, but I'm just saying that was a lemon faux show. So anyway, I got out of that, and I decided, well, okay, I don't really need no 250. I'll just get a 1500, because the new trucks are, especially the 2500s or whatever, are ridiculously expensive. So I was like, well, okay, I'll just get me a 1500, and that'll pull fine for what I needed to pull. And I was wrong. I don't think they do not gear the regular old 1500s Chevrolet trucks like they used to.
I think they detune them more now, because the technology's coming along and getting better and better. It shouldn't be getting worse. So I think they detune them now just to get you to buy a bigger truck.
Obviously so, because, we pull into work, the company trailer going up to Raleigh, which is about a 3-hour ride, ain't too far, going to get some rolls to repair and all, and coming back, we're getting 6 miles to the gallon coming back. And, them rolls were probably a couple thousand pounds apiece. Wasn't a whole lot to them.
Ain't no more than towing like pulling another truck.
Yeah, exactly. It did not like it at all. And so anyway, looked up and found a good 3500 dually. It's 2018, so it's still in about brand new shape. So we're good to go. I don't have no problem pulling now.
Low miles on it, so it's bad. This 2018 had less miles on it than your 2000. What was that? 20. Yeah.
Do a lot of riding. These racetracks, you got to travel a little bit to get all these racetracks and all these plants and everything around here. So we got to travel some, but that was good. We were there forever though. Good Lord, I don't know anybody. Everybody that goes and buys a vehicle. Jesus, it takes a long time.
This was last Wednesday. Have you got your paperwork yet? Have they finished it yet? Because it was taking a while.
No, it still ain't got the printer fixed.
Dude, we was in there for it. We got there at 2 o'clock.
2 o'clock.
2 o'clock, yep. And we finally left there at
about 8.
8, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, bad.
That was
they were nice, don't get me wrong, but
oh yeah, everything was good there. They just, the finance manager or people were out, and some other dudes having to step in and do it, and Man, it took a while. But anyway, it was all good. Got it done. Had a brand new Shelby Mustang in there.
That was crazy.
I've never seen a sticker on the window be marked out and marked up $20,000. I've never seen that.
Yeah. Actually, I think it was a little more than that because that thing said the MSRP on was like 89. I want to say it was, and they had a sticker beside it. It showed what MSRP is, and it said dealer markup. I think they had it for 110, 115, something like that.
Yeah.
I'm like, I think I'd at least talk them back down to MSRP on it.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to pay over that, but
the guy was telling us they sell them left
yeah,
and right.
people
like
come in
that.
and get them. I guess you can't get them very much around here, so mark it up and they'll pay it, whatever.
There's so many people that are collectors of cars like that I guess they just and they know there's not so many of them, so they're like, they get one.
Yeah,
I guess I don't know.
So I didn't buy a Ford, but I bought it from a Ford dealership, so I guess that's okay.
Maybe.
I hope it didn't have the Ford curse.
I hope it didn't. I hope that Ford beside it didn't rub off on it or nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, there typically ain't nothing wrong with a Ford, but that last one you had was.
Yeah,
I think it stayed in the shop more than you drove it.
Yeah, I promise you did.
Oh, well, anyway, that about summed up our last week. That was kind of whatever other than that. So,
yeah.
I ain't done nothing. I've gone to physical therapy and.
Yeah, well, I hung out yesterday, went to church. It was good.
I think my arm's getting better. My shoulder,
Yeah,
my shoulder getting a little better though.
You can do jumping jacks now.
Yeah. I'm not, but yeah.
I can see you doing it right now. Yeah. But yeah, that was good. Good weekend, good weather around here, thankfully, and yeah, had us a weekend off from traveling because we were on the road for 3 weeks going to racetracks all over, and that was a blast. We loved being able to do it, but we had to settle back down to home for a little bit and save back up a little bit to go back again.
Yeah, for sure. And went to church Sunday morning, and I got a story to tell about church.
Yeah.
This was quite funny. My son decided to go back. He's 12 now, so he decided to go back in youth group for the first time at a church there, and he hadn't ever been in the youth group there. So we left and stuff, and riding in the car. Went to pick up some food and stuff, and asked him, so what y'all do in church? What'd you learn? Oh, we was playing blackjack. What, son?
He said we can't gamble, so we can play blackjack.
We can't gamble, we can play blackjack. And I was like, all right, well, other than playing blackjack, what did you learn? Don't be a crackhead.
Hey, at least he's learning about important stuff.
I said, okay. What else did you learn, son? Don't hook up with a gold digger.
Yeah, I don't. I might need to go in his class. I don't know.
I'm telling you, jeez. So I'm like, how about you circle all this back together for me and tell me how it all ties in together? So he finally got into it, and it was a good lesson. But it was just, he gets a little vague on what you ask him sometimes.
The key points was a little concerning there for a minute.
It was funny. So, well, anyway, there was some racing, but it was mostly there was some rain this past weekend about everywhere.
Yeah, we struggled in that 2 weeks ago, going to Cherokee and Bristol too. It was just nothing but rain, so they carried it on this weekend too. Again, rain at Bristol again, and rain in Martinsville.
It sure did. And before we get into talking about Bristol too much, got a guy that was there firsthand. Let's go ahead and go to the phone line and talk to him. Ladies and gentlemen, on the line with us now, we got a buddy of ours that has made his rounds through racing and done some big stuff, and now is really taking on the dirt world, but also still in the asphalt world. Mr. Joey Coulter. Joey, what's going on, my man?
Not too much. Made my rounds. That's the nicest way I've ever been called old in my life. I
No,
think I like it.
Hey,
I'm
hey,
gonna stick to that.
we are older than you, so so it's not too bad.
It's one of the funny things about racing is that, like, when I got in stock cars, I was 16, and everybody thought my parents were crazy for putting me in a stock car when I was 16. And now I've raced against kids that were 10 or 12 years old before, so it's just one of those things.
Don't that make you feel old though? Like the other week when the first go around there with the late models and stuff at Bristol, that kid that won the crate late model classes, he was what, like 12 years old or something, 13 years old.
Yeah.
Like, God.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know how they do it. I mean, I know what I was like when I was 12 years old. And let's just say I probably wasn't mentally capable of dealing with that. And then, I got two daughters. One of them's 4, and I just can't imagine her being 12 and me going, yeah, go for it. That'd be fun, But hey, whatever works out. Obviously, he's got something figured out. He's pretty good at it.
Apparently so. Well, cool, man. Well, man, we appreciate you coming on here today and hanging out with us and, all that fun stuff. Sure appreciate that.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Not a problem, man. Well, I want to, let's go back a little bit. As I said, you've been a name in the racing world for quite a while now, obviously. But I want to... Because, like you, fortunately, our audience is kind of divided up somewhat between asphalt and dirt, predominantly, mostly, but they're divided up a little bit. But I want to go back on you in racing a little bit. What you just said you got started at 16, but tell us where you really got your start at in racing.
Yeah, so I actually I got into stock cars when I was 16, but basically before that. I started racing go-karts when I was 8, and ran in the WKA Horseman Gold Cup series, which was 4-cycle, Briggs and Stratton engines and road course. So we did that for 5 or 6 years, and then started dabbling in some short track stuff down in Florida where I grew up. And actually, the first stock car I ever drove was like a 1987 Buick Regal in the bomber class. They called them the Cyclones. It was at Hialeah Speedway. That was the first stock car I ever drove, first place I ever raced a car. And then we did that a couple times, and then went up to the Florida Pro Truck Series, or Fast Truck Series at the time, which was basically a street stock, style class, but truck bodies. And we ran all over the state of Florida. And won some races doing that, and that was when I was 16 going on 17 or so. And then went and ran a couple years in the Hooters Pro Cup series, which was probably if I could go back and not make a decision, that would have been one I would not make again. It was just way too big of a jump for where I was at and where we were at as kind of this team, so to speak. Because once we got into stock car racing, it was above and beyond what my dad and I could handle. We could do the go-kart stuff just fine, but when it got into stock cars and that kind of stuff got a little more complicated, we had to start bringing in other people to help keep us going in the right direction. So we got into Hooters Pro Cup, and we're racing against guys like Shane Huffman, Gary St. Amant, Clay Rogers, Bobby Gill. Benny Gordon. I could name hundreds of them, but it was a tough, really, really, really tough series at the time, and I was not prepared by any means for that. So we took some licks and had two pretty rough seasons. Went through a few crew chiefs, and then got hooked up with Harold Holly, who to this day is still my crew chief. So him and I started working together in 2009. we got rid of the Pro Cup stuff, picked up some sponsorship, and went ARCA racing for 2 years. We won a race in Berlin in 2010. At the end of that season, I got an email from the head office lady at RCR saying that they wanted to meet to talk about me driving a truck for them in 2011. I thought it was a joke. My dad said, "Hey, did you respond to that email yet?" And I said, "No, it's probably fake." But thankfully, we responded, talked to him, and ended up over at RCR for 2 years. Ran the Truck Series in 2011 and 2012 for Richard. We were Rookie of the Year in 2011. And then 2012, we won a race at Pocono, finished third in the points, and went to KBM the following year and got a really good taste of what people mean when they say racing is a roller coaster. So we went from being one of the most competitive driver crew chief combos, because again, Harold's my crew chief through all of this. So we went from being super competitive in 2012 to couldn't get out of our own way in 2013. Wow. Add that to some bad luck and just a bunch of circumstances that added up to not to be in our favor. We had a pretty miserable year, but all looking back at it, it's all a learning experience.
That's right.
I got to I can say I got to drive for Richard Childress and Kyle Busch, and which funny part is that when Richard and Kyle had their little conversation, we'll call it, back at Kansas, I was the truck that Kyle ran into.
That's right.
to get that all going. So that was kind of the fun part about 2012 or 2011 was after all that happened, I was, oh, you're that guy. So I was that guy for, I was the hold your watch guy for a year. But then 2014, sponsorship was obviously just getting harder and harder to find. I was pretty much out at the end of 2013, and then GMS was just forming a truck team coming out of the ARCA series. So they hired me to drive for them and help build that team. So we got a bunch of trucks. Some of them were actually the trucks I drove in at RCR because we bought most of their stuff.
Wow.
Helped GMS get that set up. Harold at the time switched over to starting to build a dirt program that was a little bit more serious. I hadn't started racing dirt until 2012. Never even been on dirt until 2012. So when the truck stuff and the NASCAR stuff was getting to where it was going to be harder for me to be around unless something drastic changed, Harold started working on building us some dirt stuff that we could start running all over the country. And sure enough, the rest of the bottom fell out 2014. So I managed the team for GMS. I managed the 33 truck in 2015 and was dirt racing part-time. And then 2016, I left there and we went full-time World of Outlaws racing, the late model side. And again, one of those that decision I would do again, even though we were way behind the curve. I knew already that's the level of dirt racing I wanted to be able to compete at. So what better way to do it than just dive right in, right?
That's right.
So we ran World Outlaws for 2 years. As Harold says, took a bunch of shots to the face, got our teeth kicked in a little bit, but learned a lot. And when we stopped touring, we were able to pick up a couple wins in the Ray Cook Southern National Series and an Ultimate win and Carolina Clash win. So it's been real good for us, in that aspect. It did get us up to speed faster than I think we would have if we didn't go that route. But yeah, been dirt racing ever since and dabbling in some pavement stuff still. My dad and I have owned some pavement late models for quite a while, and the guy that handles that, Randy Renfro, he went and got a tour type modified to run in the Smart modified tour in the Southeast. We went and gave that a shot for one race last year and ended up setting the track record and qualifying on the pole and winning the race. So
yeah, right here at our home track, right about 5 minutes down the road from us.
Yeah, so that was kind of a surprise, and it really was exciting for me because at the time that time in 2019 and 2020, I think I only ran 7 or 8 races total. Where in 2018 I ran 60. So the driving for me really dropped off the last couple of years with moving out here to Texas and starting a family and things like that. And then just having the opportunity to get some big names in our dirt car. I kind of wanted to see what would happen when we added somebody with a ton of dirt experience. For the most part, it worked out. But hopefully, start driving some more, both the dirt and the pavement side, and just keep plugging away. So that's kind of the long answer of a really, really long 20 or so years driving.
Hey, that's what we need. That's how we get to know you. So
yeah,
that's perfect. That's perfect. So that leads us up to now. Now, you got your ride there, and we've seen you at select races, and like you said, you got other people in the car. What is the actual deal now? What are how many races are you looking to run, and how many races are you looking to have other people in your cars and stuff like that?
So it's right now we're kind of just going a month at a time. We had Brandon Overton drove our car in the dirt side for a season and won a bunch of races. I think they ended up winning 15 races, including the USA 100 there at Virginia Motor Speedway. Won a Schaefer's Oil Southern Nationals championship. Like I said, like 15 races total, I think. So there's a lot of success with Brandon in the car, but the chemistry just wasn't quite there, and he got an opportunity to do something closer to where he lives, and driving back and forth from Georgia to Charlotte's a bit of a haul. So we shook hands, high-fived, and went our separate ways. Had Pearson Lee Williams, he's been working with us for a long time before he drove, and he ran about a full season with us, just trying to get him some experience. Really hard worker, good driver. And then he got an opportunity again to do something closer to home. Chris Madden drove for us for like 3 days. That was cool, I guess.
But that's the story of Chris Madden, though, isn't it?
Apparently, I don't want to get too deep into it, but yeah, that was
Yeah.
That was a nice. I got to buy him lunch, cook him dinner one time at the racetrack, and that was about it. So after that, I kind of threw my hands up and was like, all right, let's take a step back and let's regroup a little bit. It's a hard full-time dirt racing. It's tough on the drivers, the crews. So it's hard to find, a lot of good help around the shop and stuff. So that's kind of where we were at. And another kid that had been working with us forever, helping us hang bodies, Matthew Nance, he raced locally, doesn't live too far from the shop, and he's been running really well in crate cars, and he built himself a super motor and started running good. So I said, well, you know what, I can't be there all the time. Let's give him a shot. So right now on the dirt side, Matthew and I are kind of splitting the ride and trying to focus more on, races like an Ultimate Series, Carolina Clash, Schaefer's Oil stuff. And then, when the big guys come to town, we'll go run with those guys. And then when I get a wild hair and decide to do something crazy, we'll show up at Bristol. And try our hand with the best of the best. But yeah, that's kind of the plan on the dirt side for right now.
Yeah, we actually have seen Matthew the past couple of weekends. we were up at Friendship, and he run. I think he had top 5 up there, if that's right.
Yeah, he ran good.
Mm-hmm.
Ran good,
Yep.
and then he turned around, came right over here to Lakeview, and had another good run this past weekend. So that's
yeah.
he's a good dude.
Right up the point till it went bad.
Yeah.
It was good.
Yeah.
But
right
that's
spin
part
it right
of
in front
it.
of everybody.
Yeah, I would much rather. I'd much rather have to get on the phone with him and say, hey, buddy, back it down a little bit than have to get on the phone and push him harder. And that's, that's Matthew. And it's funny because when you talk to him, he's really quiet, he's really calm, cool, and
Right.
collected. But when he puts his helmet on, he's a different animal. He's got a lot of drive and a lot of passion for running good, and that if you give somebody a long enough straightaway, that'll show up.
That's typically how it always seems. It seems like the guys that are quiet outside the car, and like Matthew Nance, like Kyle Larson even, them guys, you go talk to them in the pits, and they're quiet and everything. All of a sudden, they get in the car, and it's just wide open. And it's awesome. I don't know if that's just how they let out everything or what it is, but, I mean, they make for some good drivers, it seems like.
Yeah, it's the automotive version of being bipolar, I guess.
Yeah, that's it.
But yeah, it seems to work, and I mean, I think what it is, those guys are the ones that are just easily more focused. I think I think any professional driver is going to have some amount of focus, but I think the guys that are really calm and collected outside the car, it's a focus thing, and then they can just concentrate on being aggressive and that kind of stuff once they get in the car.
There you go. Well, that kind of brings us into another point we want to bring up with you. Your driver development program that you're that you are heading up, and it's not just driver development. It really, I mean, it's more of the day-to-day stuff. Kind of tell us about that, if you will, Joy.
Yeah. So back in 2015, I started my own company called C4 Driver Optimization. And the idea behind it is to take driver coaching and kind of flip it over, because most typical driver coaches or typical driver coaching, the image everybody gets is a guy standing on top of the trailer or the spotter's towers, turn here, turn there, more brake, less brake, that kind of stuff. And it's helpful in a lot of cases, but as you get higher up, it's not what matters the most. Like, once you've driven enough, you kind of get used to figuring things out. You get to a racetrack you've never seen before, and you kind of develop your own little way of learning that track. Whether you recognize it's your system or not is another thing, but that's just typically how it works out. So what I try to do is okay, I'm going to try to teach people the complex stuff early, so that when they get to a big opportunity, it's the line of thinking isn't so different. And so far, it's worked out pretty good. So in 2018, I teamed up with Austin Terrio. Him and I raced late models a little bit together, and then a few truck races here and there, because as I was getting out, he was getting in. And we renamed it, and it's the company now is called Drive Refine. And it's the same concept. We focus on the Monday through Friday side of driving, how to prepare for a race, how to debrief after a race, which is, to me, that's like the most untouched potential for a driver is being able to go back and look at your whole weekend and learn from it. There's a lot of drivers that, take notes and do a little thing here and there, but it's not as in depth as it has to be as you get higher and higher up. So for those drivers looking to keep climbing the ladder, we try to show them kind of the more expert level approach to it. And when you start applying that to the lower divisions and things like that, it can make a pretty big difference. And then, like I said, when you get that shot to restart next to Kyle Busch or Kevin Harvick or something like that in a truck race or a late model race somewhere, you've got the tools to make it happen, and then one of them will hire you, hopefully.
There you go. Pretty
That's
important
it.
stuff. I mean, you can't get no more important than that. Well, speaking of debriefing, I kind of want to make the announcement on here that through our friends over at SRI Performance, me and you kind of talked the other day, and we're gonna hit up a little partnership of our own here, and basically, you're gonna debrief with us after you race. The following podcast after that, so that's gonna be pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm excited. It should be fun. I think it's, again, I don't think you get to hear that a lot from drivers. I think most drivers probably don't either don't really do it, or they just don't like to talk about it, especially if it goes bad. That's part of racing. You got to be able to learn from the good weekends as much as you learn from the bad ones. I think you can actually learn more from the bad ones than you can from the good ones sometimes. So if that's correct, we will learn an awful lot from this past weekend at Bristol.
All right, well, since you brought it up, let's go through it. What was the deal?
Well, I mean, basically, we got to go run there a couple weeks ago for the Bristol Dirt Nationals, and at that event we started off struggling, and by the time we got to the B main on Saturday, we found a lot of speed. I got acclimated. That was my first time back in that car in probably 4 or 5 months. The only driven before that was that modified. So I definitely had some dust to knock off and some cobwebs to clear out. So that was some of it. But basically, when we left the Bristol Dirt Nationals, I was feeling pretty good. We passed 13 or 14 cars in the feature, got us top 10. So I was pretty happy with it. Going into this weekend, the Bristol Bash World Outlaws, I knew, obviously, with it being an invite only, it was going to be extremely tough just to make the race. There was 29 cars there. I'm pretty sure I was the only one there that hadn't won a World Outlaws feature or a Lucas feature at some point. So it was going to be tough. What really caught us off guard was just how different the track was and how terrible our setup was for that track condition. Because we basically started where we ended a couple weeks ago, and
Right.
We were just, left field doesn't describe it. We were still in the parking lot, probably the wrong parking lot. So we, and again, it's such a complicated thing when the driver hasn't raced that much. Like it's, as I'm figuring things out and getting better, the crew chief is constantly trying to get the car to where I want it. Well, I'm constantly changing because I'm figuring things out. The track's changing. With the weather we got, the car count being different, the track transitioned very, very different,
Right.
especially on Sunday when it rained all day Saturday. So we just never could get caught up. And then when we did get caught up, the racetrack changed. It got that really dry slick. So basically we had spent the previous day and a half trying to get turned in the grip. Now there was no grip. So we kind of had to backtrack a bunch, and it was just, we just got ourselves behind. And again, when you're trying to climb that big of a mountain, sometimes it just doesn't quite work out. And we never put it all together and had a good heat race or a good B main or really a good hot lap session. It's kind of just terrible all the way around. But sometimes that's what you get when you race against the best in the country.
That's right.
Absolutely. Well, I want to ask you this, Joe. Because you've run asphalt forever and now dirt now as much as you are. So in setup and in track change, and your notebook has got to be way bigger as far as setup and understanding track change and all that in the dirt world versus asphalt. So, and like you just said, you're trying to learn what to do to the car and what the car's doing. How much different is that? And just in sitting in the seat from you being able to prepare for asphalt versus dirt?
It's completely a completely different mindset, because just to start with, an asphalt track, it's basically wet, dry, hot, or cold.
Right.
The pavement's new or it's wore out. You're either going to South Boston or you're going to like Greenville Pickens or Myrtle Beach or Hickory. So just on the track surface side, there's less variables. Where pavement racing, the complexity ramps up is you have to take advantage of those less variables, but you have to do it better than everybody else.
Right.
So if it's one groove on the bottom, you have to run that one groove on the bottom better than everybody else, and you have to do it 150 times. Dirt racing, the variables are constantly changing, so it's not so much about perfection as it is about being, the ability to adjust and being flexible with your setups, with your driving styles, and being that first guy to find that one little strip of grip. So it's just two completely different approaches. Obviously, I'm much more familiar with the pavement side of it than I am with the dirt side, but it's harder to just show up to a dirt race and tune up, because you just don't have the control over the environment like you do in pavement sometimes. So yep. It's frustrating for me, because again, I'm kind of wired as a pavement driver. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to go out there, figure this out, and we're going to go fast. Well, joke's on me. It doesn't really work that way.
Right. We definitely, we've talked with some guys running late models and stuff on asphalt, and, they'll look at their notes from the previous time they've been there, temperature's about the same, whatever. They'll have the car pretty much set up, ready to go when they leave the shop, and, just a little bit of stagger here and there, a little odd and end things, and they're fine. But like you just said, when you leave the shop, you don't know what kind of surface you're going to be on. So that's got to be definitely a major challenge to be able to do.
Yeah, it is. And, on the dirt side, the thing that we try to focus on is, so we take that same approach, right, of using our notes and using, I'm big on watching videos and in-car cameras when I can find them, things like that. But you start looking for trends rather than individual, characteristics, right? So, your setup, you might baseline the same way, right? But, if you know it's been raining for 3 days before you go to a racetrack, then obviously dry slick probably isn't in the cards, at least until late in the night. So you can kind of adjust to that. But in your overall setup, like Harold and I, what we talk about all the time is a tuning package. It's not like pavement where it's a setup that okay. gets you going and sets you up for the win. It's a package. You gotta have a package that you can go out there and hot lap with, that's close enough for me to figure the racetrack out and me to get out and say, all right, Harold, this is what we need. Like, I need more side bite, more front end steer, whatever it is, right? He can start using our tuning package that we create over races and races and races and races to get us a little bit closer. And then maybe qualifying is really good, but, we over adjusted. So it's more about building a tuning package for certain types of racetracks or certain types of dirt, whereas on the pavement side, it's a setup, right? Hickory is hickory. All it's doing is getting more worn out, more rough, and, more paint. There's more grass growing through the cracks off the turn quarter. That's about it.
I was fixing to say, if it gets any more rough, they just going to have to take four-wheel drive trucks out there.
Yeah, I'm all for racetracks, playing the character card. Nick has character, but I feel like Hickory is beginning to push the limits of character and just coming apart. But I say that, and it still puts on some of the best racing in the South, I think. So maybe there is something to it.
We were walking on it. Was that last weekend? Yeah. And I come walking down the front straightaway and tripped in a crack in it. That's how bad it was. We were up there for the Easter Bunny, and whew, it was rough. But I know, talking about the tuning packages, and this is another thing that me and Sterling have, because we're kind of like you. Me and Sterling both kind of grew up more or less around the asphalt world. My dad kept late models for guys running over here at Florence Motor Speedway, and so did Sterling's dad. And that's how we grew up, and we grew up in that world also. And we have, in the past, kind of the same time you did almost, started piddling in the dirt world more or less. So we've gotten into looking at stuff like that because we were kind of the same way. I knew what went into setting up an asphalt car, but I know something that's got to be very challenging for y'all. And I saw this a lot at the Dirt Nationals first time around there at Bristol. And but tire selection, kind of on asphalt, you get what you get tire wise. Dirt is completely different tire game,
and especially too. Tell me this too, Joe. I mean, how many times did they work the track? And when we were up there at the Bristol Dirt Nationals, and I mean, I think they worked it 5 times that day. So you get used to something, and then they change it again and change it again. So we saw a lot of guys down there on the grid getting ready for the main, and everybody was looking at each other's tire selection and just shaking their head. So yeah, explain that a little bit.
It's funny because the best way I can explain it is like this: when we were truck racing, obviously it's NASCAR, so that's all, technology wise, it's up there, and you would get tire data from Goodyear. So before you left the shop, you knew how much front toe to run. You knew what your caster and your camber settings needed to be, what your slip angle of the tire was for optimum grip for both front tires, what the compound was, what the sidewall construction was. You had all this data, like tons of data. And so you knew about that tire, but that was it. There was no choice. That was your tire. Here's all the information. Now we're dirt racing where you can pick God knows how many different tires with so many different compounds, and then they make compounds that are a little bit wider and some that are quick fire and some that are a slow fire, I guess. I don't know. But you get all these different compounds, but you don't know anything about the tire. Here's the tire. This is the right, this is the left. Here's a chalk mark that's completely wrong. But it's so funny because it's so much, the tire is so much more important on dirt compared to, again, like all that information that we would get in NASCAR. It's great, but it to some extent it doesn't matter because it's not like we have another choice.
Right.
You use it all, and obviously there's a lot of things you can do with it, but you're not looking at that information and going, gosh, this tire would really be better. In dirt racing, it's like you're trusting the guy with the chalk mark, putting it on the rim, hoping to God that it grows to the size that it's supposed to grow to.
Yeah, good luck.
And you're picking soft, medium, or hard, basically, and then you got to get your grooving iron out and try to come up with some pattern that's going to give you the right kind of edges or the right kind of block integrity that you need to go fast. And then your crew chief puts too much extended load in the left rear and ruins the whole day anyway. So it's funny because, like I said, it's the place that you need that kind of information would be dirt racing. But it's, again, to get all that is millions and millions of dollars, which believe me, I don't want to be paying $400 a tire for a dirt car. I'm good with what we got at 140 or whatever it is.
Yeah, exactly.
So, right.
But yeah, that's kind of my view of it. It is so important. Bristol was a different animal. It was all about, like I mentioned, block integrity. So you couldn't, even if it was muddy, you couldn't cut the tire up to get it to cleat into the mud because there's so much load and so much speed that it was just pulling the blocks all around and trying to rip them off the tire.
Wow.
So the Dirt Nationals, when it was kind of an open tire rule, we were running on crate 55 right rears and crate 21. I think they were like a steer tire, but something similar to an LM block pattern and not really cutting them all that much. We were doing some different sipes to, try to get some clean edges for restarts and stuff like that. But it was really like the opposite of how we would normally get our tires together. And then, with the World Outlaws race, we were on LMs, which I don't know. I don't know if it's just in my head or what, but I'm not very good with those tires, period. But it was the same kind of thing. It was all about block integrity, making sure you could get heat out of the block and not letting it blister, because there's just so much load compared to anywhere that we've ever run.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, to me, it seems like, and I know there's a lot of smart people in NASCAR and all that, by all means, but it seems like the from the engineering aspect and crew chief aspect is so much more involved in the dirt world to me, because there's so many different variables that you have to look at. I mean, like you just said, the track changes, tire changes, whatever. There's so many things involved. That's a lot to keep up with.
It is, and that's, I think that takes you right back to that tuning package mentality. Is there is so many variables, there is so many things to keep track of. Rather than trying to perfect every single one like we would in the pavement world, you just got to get a ballpark. You got to be close enough, because that's the other thing about dirt. The driver can make or break what you got. You can take the perfect car, put it in the wrong lane, and you look like me. So it's all about, basically, when you send your driver out there for a dirt race, it's basically, okay, here's the box you got to work in. Hopefully that box matches the box that the racetrack is going to give us, and you can just drive all over that box. Otherwise, however them two boxes are offset is what gives you a car that only runs around the bottom in the black, or only runs around the top chasing the cushion. The more lined up those two boxes are, the more versatile of a car that you're going to have in the race, as long as the driver knows how to make it work in those kind of conditions.
Well, I'm going to tell you what. I think me and Sterling have now been to school.
Hey, I love it. That's what we're here for, man. I love it. I
do too. This is awesome. And so everybody out there, y'all might as well go ahead and say hello to the new another part-time co-host here. You're gonna hear him a lot on here, and Mr. Joey Coulter here. And man, this has been fun. So a couple more little things. What you looking at next? What's your next run?
Well, I think we're gonna take a few weeks off on the dirt side and get things cleaned up. I know our truck needs some servicing and little things like that. So we're gonna get that stuff cleaned up and turn around. Hopefully, I'll get back over to the Carolinas and do a little bit of testing with the pavement stuff, and hopefully, go pick up a CRA or a Cars Tour race or something like that, and get some pavement racing in here over the next month, and go from there.
There you go. Well,
sweet.
Hopefully, we might be lining something up and catch you out there, and hopefully get another win on some asphalt. You're they always say you're only as good as your last race. Well, your last asphalt race was pretty daggone good, so it looks pretty good.
Yeah,
for that.
I better hurry up and do something, because my last race period was not so good. I need to jump on iRacing or something. Go run some street.
There we go.
Exactly.
Well, cool deal, man. Well, before we get off, who all do you want to think that's on the car this year? Who all's on there?
I mean, obviously, SRI, PSC Brakes, Draco Springs. That's an awesome partnership, kind of all based out of the same building. Which, those are. It's hard to beat those components as far as utility. They've. It's been an awesome long time partnership for us, and getting more involved. That's why I'm talking to you guys, is because of that partnership. So that's exciting. And Simpson Race Products, Stilo Helmets, Molecule, that whole crew's been with me for a long time, and that's the only reason my dirt suits still look like they do, because trust me, when you run in the back like I have, they get really dirty. But and then just the whole crew. I mean, Harold's worked his tail off the past few years. Doesn't take vacation time unless I make him, and whether I show it or not, always brings us a really nice, really well prepared race car, and doesn't get too upset when Matthew or I don't quite get the job done. So and then obviously my wife for putting up with everything. We got two little girls now, and she still goes to the races with us and has as much fun as family, which is cool. That's a big deal to me too. So
that's awesome.
I'm sure there's a bunch of people I'm forgetting at the moment, but it's a great group, and it's a pleasure to keep things going, and it's awesome to be a part of it all.
Good deal, buddy. Well, thank you so much again for coming on here and spend some time with us, and go ahead and thank you now, because we're going to be spending some more time together on here throughout the year, and it's been fun. We appreciate it, man.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. This is going to be a lot of fun. Hopefully, we can next time we talk, we're talking about some good results, and I can do a little explaining on how you learn from those rather than what you learned from running terrible.
There you go. There you go. I believe it's going to happen, man. It's definitely going to happen. Well, cool deal, man. Well, like I said again, thank you so much for your time, and can't wait to talk to you again.
Yeah, thanks. You guys have a great afternoon.
Yeah, you too, bud.
It's really cool to have Joey Coulter come on here, and like I said there, guys, he's going to be a staple on the show for this year. Well, just for the foreseeable future, we'll put it that way.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's cool to have a relationship with him and his guys too, that he's trying to help develop their careers, and we'll be talking with a lot with Joey more. We'll be talking with his guys. Be talking with more to people at SRI, with that relationship, and steadily building that. So it's cool to be around good people.
Yeah, it definitely is. And, and really, for all the fans listening, being able to get that aspect and understand the setup side of it, and, what all is involved in preparing and getting to the racetrack and how that proceeds through. And, it's some good stuff to definitely be able to see that side of it too, not just watching the race.
Definitely so. And we really appreciate Joey coming on here and taking time with us like he's going to be doing throughout the year after his races, and we'll be learning a whole lot more from Joey, because he's a smart guy. He really is. So can't wait to have him on here some more. But now, going back into Bristol, it was a exciting weekend up there from everything I saw. First of all, the biggest thing, Joey said he had a rough weekend. I'm going to tell you, other than winning the modified race on Sunday, I don't think he had quite as rough a weekend as Kyle Strickler had.
No, I don't think he did either. Well, Kyle's weekend started off great.
It started off wonderful.
Setting fast time, I think track record there.
And it went downhill from there. And,
run his heat and was light, I believe. Had to start in the back.
Yep.
And was rolling coming up through there.
No. He was getting lapped.
Okay.
Yeah.
He was
right behind Jimmy. Well, he was right. The video, he was right behind Jimmy. Yeah, after he got lapped.
Well, hate that for him, especially when the left rear comes off Jimmy's car and he catapults over top of it. That don't help none.
No, rolled the car up the banking. I hadn't talked with him. I need to talk with him to see how bad the car is, but I know he told him on Dirt Vision there that pretty sure he destroyed a brand new race car, because that was a brand new Longhorn chassis.
Yeah, just got to put together. I sure hate that, and man, that's terrible. They put a lot of work in getting that thing ready to go, and hate to see that happen.
Yeah, for sure. But Jimmy Owens also had a rough night there. Obviously, the left rear coming off of it put him in the back. So, after some more racing there, I'm gonna tell you what, they tore up some cars there on practice day, though, too.
Yeah, they did.
There was a lot of pictures of pictures of cars in the wall and stuff. Oh, something new come out. A guy we've talked to on here before. All of a sudden, switched up rides. We had heard some rumors about this possibly happening, and all of a sudden it came about right before, literally a few hours before trailers pulled in at Bristol is when the announcement came out. Anyway, Ross Bales out of Big Frog Motorsports, moving on over there to the guy Billy Hicks and them running their Longhorn, which he has already won a race with over at Lakeview.
Yep, sure did. Did well in that car. That's a good car.
And then went out there in hot laps and was right up top in hot laps with that car. So I think it's a good move for him. I really do. Yeah,
I mean, say a lateral move or not, I don't know, but I think they got their equipment figured out a little better right now, I say. So, I'd like to see Ross do well, and I think that's going to be a good car for him to do it in.
Yeah, I do too. That's a good ride, and it's really, I don't know, it's funny because that's a ride that I don't know why they're good. I mean, obviously smart people with it, but it's a very small team.
Yep.
They got good equipment, obviously, but it just apparently fits his style more, and we seen that same thing with Kyle Strickler when he went over to the PCC ride and they were running Rockets. He almost couldn't get out of his own way.
Right.
And we know Rockets are fast. Obviously, Josh Richards won Friday night at Bristol. We know Rockets are fast, but it didn't suit Strickler's driving style. I don't think that Rocket really ever suited Ross Bell's driving style. So he moved over to this Longhorn and really seems to suit his driving style a whole lot better, apparently.
Yeah, I think it definitely will. And I mean, I don't know. It's just for whatever reason, it seems like here lately, the as far as more consistency, I've seen that more in the Longhorns for sure.
Yeah.
Than the Rockets here of late. So, wishing the best of luck, and hopefully he can perform well.
For sure. But like I just said, Josh Richards scored him a win Friday night at Bristol in the Bash there. Invite only race, like you just heard Joey Coulter talk about. 29 cars there. I don't really understand why it's invite only.
Well, I don't either.
Being that they're only running 2 classes.
I don't either, but my opinion, if you're going to invite only, start the whole invite.
Yeah.
In the main, if you're
especially on a track that big.
Right. If you're going to invite 29, start 29 because they made the effort to come, regardless of invite or not, they made the effort to come. And if you're only going to have that many cars, start that many cars. Well, if you're going to limit.
I think they invited a couple more because I know Michael Brown was invited and he originally was going to go, but he decided not to.
I know
also, Chris Ferguson, for whatever reason. He was actually there. He drove the pace truck on Sunday.
Right.
I guess probably had to do some stuff with the car and stuff like that. So I guess it just wouldn't as being that he's not on the tour there. The chances of tearing stuff up or blowing a motor there are probably not as worth the risk.
Right. That track's rough on the equipment for sure. We saw that firsthand, and when you spin it out there, it's a whole lot different than spinning it out at Cherokee or something for sure.
Promise
so, but anyway, I love seeing it there. I mean, it puts on good racing. Like Joey said, track was totally different. I really felt like a lot of these guys, especially the people that were invited, would use the first trip there to learn a lot, get a lot of notes, as Joey did, and it didn't work out too good.
Nope, it didn't. But as old Harry Gant used to say, that's racing. And I guess it probably wouldn't be much fun if it didn't make you work every now and then.
Yeah, for sure. And that's the part like Joy was saying too. That's what I love about dirt racing is there's so much more to it. Is like we just said last week. Not taking anything away from Derek Griffith and those guys, but they got their stuff together. They know what they're doing very well. And when they leave the shop, I mean, that car is ready. I mean, 100%. And I mean, you know, they're on top of their game in the asphalt world for sure. Now, you know, I think it just separates so much more. There's so many different aspects involved in running super late models in dirt. So, anyway, it's really cool to see that. But rain again on Saturday, man.
Everywhere. Here, everywhere.
Yeah. It looked like a hurricane coming across the northeast.
I'm gonna tell you, we had a wedding to do, and I was thinking when we got there, they already had some flower arrangements and some vases and some pictures and stuff like that put up around the reception area, which was actually it's like a
pole barn kind of sort of.
Yeah, kind of a pole barn. It's open on the sides. They had some covers kind of on the sides, but the wind was blowing so hard, it was knocking everything down. There was glass shattering. There was all kind of stuff. And it was like it would come and it would go. It would come and go.
Yep.
But at Bristol and at Martinsville and everywhere else in between, it did nothing but rain.
Yeah.
They got to race in over at Lakeview. I saw that. That's about it. But Bristol, so rained on Saturday. They pushed the race back to Sunday. Like I just said, Fergie was up there driving a pace truck for him. I guess he was bored at the house.
Yeah.
But Devin Moran got out there and took him home a win. Won the $20,000 from Bristol. I don't understand that. I'm gonna throw this out there that I don't understand that. How can you get a non-sanctioned event put up there? Yes, you got a lot more people there because you didn't do it invite only. Yeah, you limited them, but limit was a whole lot more. How you gonna do a non-sanctioned event and pay? Was it $50,000? Wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 50. And then you turn around and have a sanctioned event like the World of Outlaws, and you're only gonna pay $20,000.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. I guess that's all in the promotion deal of it, but you know, and this is the first year of it too, so it kind of was all thrown together. It seemed like, but maybe next year when they plan it out, they got time to plan it, and prepare it. Maybe that will be one of the bigger World of Outlaw races next year, and maybe it won't be invitation only. Maybe there'll be 100 cars there. You know, I don't know. But I think a lot of people learned this year, and I'm scared it's going to hurt that race because there was so much equipment tore up.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of guys may say, you know what, I ain't even taking my equipment up there. I'm not taking that chance. It's not worth it. And you know, that could easily happen. So we'll see. I don't know, man. But you know, if you pay, they'll come regardless. If you put up $100,000 to win, they'll be there. They will be there. For
sure. They definitely will. Like I said, Devin Moran took that win home on Sunday.
Yep.
Good for him. He hadn't won a whole lot of big races yet. He's come on here in the past couple of years and
right
and took home some races, but that's probably his biggest one he's taken home as of yet.
Yeah, for sure. Well,
So.
one place it didn't rain Saturday, fortunately, was Thompson Speedway, and for the big icebreaker weekend there, that was pretty cool. Like I said last week, we talked with Derek, and they were planning on headed up there, and I'd be dog if he didn't do it again, man.
I seen him Saturday after I saw he won. I seen him a little gift thing, or whatever you call them things on the phone, the little short videos. Are they GIFs or are they GIFs?
I have no idea. You're asking the wrong dude. I don't know.
All right, I need to put up a poll. Is it a GIF or a GIF? How do you? But I would spell it the same. So how would you know? Oh, but anyway, I see a little thing saying, you know, the song "All I Do Is Win, Win, Win." Like, good Lord, dude, three wins, $30,000.
Hey, well, and you move it back to February too. I mean, he's just winning. He's winning everywhere he goes right now. That is awesome for him, man. They are doing exceptional. They got their setup, their package and cars and whatever. They got it figured out, and I love to see it, man. That's awesome.
They got them Furies apparently furious because they out there killing everybody.
Yeah, they need to add some letters and take one off and change the name on that car because it is it's hard to beat for sure. So anyway, hats off to them guys. It's really cool for them to continue that, and looking forward to them keeping that up for sure as they go on.
Yeah, that's so cool. So cool to see them, and like we talked about last week, Landon told me, he said, "I saw Derek won. That's awesome." So that's really cool to see the kids getting into it a little more there.
Yeah, definitely. It's always good when they can be attached to it, and it makes us feel good inside. That's for sure. So that's cool. But I know Derek and all them love that too. So definitely again, hats off to those guys, and we're looking forward to seeing them again soon. But so the race started in Martinsville, the Xfinity race. It started Saturday. I think they ran 91 laps, something like that. Didn't get to see any of it, unfortunately.
Watch some replays.
Yeah, well, the good thing was of the whole deal, they ran it Sunday, and somebody we've been following for a long time in the short track world that's got his chance to go up and run with Junior Motorsports in the Xfinity car. Got his break, man, and got him a win. Old Josh Berry, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that is really cool because he's a good guy. We've talked to him at some tracks and stuff before, and he's a real good guy, real down to earth guy. And I mean, just like old late model short track driver. I mean, that's
right
what he is. Cause that's what he's done forever. And so it's been really good it's really good to see that. Really good. Glad that happened. I know he's already had a couple sponsorship offers since the win yesterday. So I'd love to see. There's no reason. I don't know. I know he's missed a couple races because of the schedule wise, but man, I'd love to see him be able to get in something good for the rest of the year. Being he's got a win now, he could easily go run for a championship.
Yeah, well, I really think that's what Junior wants. I mean, he's pretty loyal to Josh, and I mean, or either maybe Josh is loyal to him. I mean, maybe Josh has had opportunities to go other places and didn't want to leave there. I don't know. Maybe he's satisfied just running late models and doing what he can when he can, and doesn't want to commit to a full-time NASCAR ride. I don't know, but the important thing is I've always thought when I heard this year he was gonna get that ride, that chance, I always thought he definitely had the talent to do it, and I'm glad he showed that off.
For sure. I just think it'd be cool if maybe there's a Hendrick Motorsports Xfinity team all of a sudden pop up.
Hey, you never know.
It could happen.
Hey, or there could be a Junior Motorsports Cup car next year.
That is a possibility.
So you never know.
They've kind of mentioned a few things about that, and I'm gonna tell you, if a owner of any sorts wants to get into Cup season, it looks like next year or from next year into the foreseeable future, that's the time to do it. Everybody, all these owners are saying this new car is really going to help them out, and make everybody competitive. It's going to bring it back. They're all saying it's going to bring it back into the driver's hands. Which,
I sure hope so. And if that's the case, I better watch out for Kyle Larson.
Yes, I 100% agree with that. So if Junior had him a Cup ride out there, that'd be a pretty cool deal, because I could see somebody like I don't know. I could see a Noah Gragson moving back up, but I really could see a Justin Allgaier getting back into the Cup Series. Yeah,
I don't know. That's kind of going back to the who's got the most sponsorship money kind of deal.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's still that, but it I guess just in my mind, they're saying it's a driver's game, gonna be more of a driver's game with this car. If you're looking at that, if you're looking at that aspect and taking sponsorship out of it.
Oh, definitely. Then, that would definitely be the way to go for sure.
Which isn't going to happen, but
No, unfortunately not. But that's gonna be neat to see, and seeing that across the board being a little more competitive throughout the field, that's gonna be neat. So anyway, we'll see what happens there. Who knows? But again, congratulations to Josh Berry on getting his win there, and hopefully that helps him. I know it's going to help him in a big way, regardless of where he goes from here. But I know it'll help him, and I know that was probably a big relief for him too to be able to get that. So, and then after that, the old Cup race started up pretty late in the day. I think 4 o'clock, somewhere along in there, and I didn't get to see much of that either. But I saw Martin Truex got him another win for 2021.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'm just jaded to it anymore or something like, or maybe I have a negative outlook. I don't know. Maybe it's me. I don't know.
Well, it's just a different type of racing. It's a different type of. I mean, it's what we get into. What excites us on the racetrack isn't what we're seeing right now.
No.
In that car, and we've talked about that many times. I mean, that's a broken record, really. But we know, and everybody knows that there's something new coming, and whether we like the car or not, whether it looks like a stock car or not, whatever. But if it's more driver demanding, that's what I want to see, and I think it'll make for a lot better racing in the Cup Series.
Well, it already showed something to me. They had it. Was it last week before? I know I showed you the pictures. They had the new car, the next gen ride over at Darlington, doing a couple of days of tire testing with it, and spun it out by herself. Oh,
yeah,
Tyler Reddick spun it out and backed her into the fence. That is something that does not happen with these cars they got now. They will not spin out hardly.
Not without help, that's for sure. And man, I'm kind of want to know what's up with the rear end now, because the camera they had in the right rear of that car was insane.
It's crazy.
I don't know what's going on. I mean, I don't know. Looking forward to seeing that.
Yeah, it was pretty wild. And also, this is one thing. I don't know. I guess I'm just old school. They showed an in-car camera of him driving around Darlington. There was no rear view mirror in the car.
It's a digital mirror.
It had a TV screen.
Yeah, it's a digital mirror back there.
Mirror. Camera. We call that a camera and TV.
Yeah. the highfalutin way is a digital mirror.
Yeah. It's a backup camera that's on all the time.
Yeah, that's essentially exactly what it is. It's gonna be totally different. And I don't know. I mean, we always talk about we don't like change. We like old school. I
think it's just too much at once.
It may be. And that may be what it is. But I don't know, man. It's just, to me, it's just going to be like a sports car. It's going to be like the sports car.
V8 supercar.
Right. It's going to be exactly kind of what it is. But, again, I can overlook all that if it makes for better racing on the track. And, they can hopefully get back to driver demanding more than aero demanding. We don't like seeing that, and especially at Martinsville, there's aero that you got to worry about. It's just, good Lord, are you kidding me? But it'll be good. Hopefully, we'll be positive. Hopefully, maybe draw some people back to the NASCAR world, and because I tell you what, I think they're losing a lot of them to the dirt side of it right now.
For sure. So anyway, yeah, Martin Truex Jr. won it.
The end. I didn't. Sorry about that.
It wasn't a great of a race from what I saw.
I know he's. I think Martin's won. I think Martin's won 3 of the last 4 there at Martinsville, so he's got to figure it out.
Yeah, he does. So this week, guys, we already kind of talked about SRI there with Joey Coulter, but I just want to tell them thank you again, especially Randy Keene over there for helping us set up deal with Joey. That was really cool. Appreciate him a whole lot. Appreciate what they do over there, especially like Joey said. All of SRI Performance, first of all, he runs PFC brakes, which Randy's the man on. Any brake needs you have, call Randy Keene, call SRI Performance. They can set you up with the best stopping system out there. Draco Springs, as Joey said, them purple springs. You won't get no better springs.
That's it
out there. So yeah, also stock car steel and aluminum appreciate them guys too. Earl Ramey Racing Engines. Want to throw Earl's name out here, man. Let me tell you something. Again, this weekend, just as I've been saying the past few weekends, there weren't many races because, like I said, a lot of them got rained out. But guess what? The races there was. Guess what won?
Earl Ramey Racing Engines.
Earl Ramey Racing Crate Engine.
Hey, that's every week, man. You know that. That's where it's at. 100%. He's got the best of the best.
Definitely so. And guys, so if you need any engine, I saw he was putting together a sprint car motor. I don't know if it was 360 or 410. He was putting together one of them the other day. Super motor, go a big block modified. It don't matter. He takes care of our boys, Derek McGrew and all them up there. Derek in the New York area with all them big block modifieds starting up. Earl knows all about them too. So whatever y'all need, y'all give Earl Ramey a call at Earl Ramey Racing Engines. And when you get your car set up, book you some time on this chassis dyno. That'll tell you a whole lot about your car. Tell you how to transfer the most amount of horsepower you can from the motor to the rear tires and make it usable. So, what other racing we got this week?
I don't know, man. I think, well, from what we saw and what we were around, that's about it. I know Lakeview ran.
I thought our buddy Trent was going over there, but he didn't end up going over there.
No, he must still be working or something.
He probably was. He's probably down the beach, like he said.
Yeah, probably.
Chilling where he was. Something pretty cool, though. I finally got some video edited today.
Yes. Cool
and
stuff.
Put up on YouTube and all that fun stuff of our in-car cameras from Trent's ride at Friendship Motor Speedway last weekend in the Carolina Clash Super Late Model Series. So y'all go to our YouTube page and check it out because that was pretty cool, pretty good footage.
Yeah, definitely.
So good stuff. I'm trying to remember who won over at Lakeview. It was Dustin Mitchell. That's right. Congratulations to Dustin Mitchell winning in the Ultimate Super Late Model Series over at Lakeview.
Yeah, for sure. That was a pretty good turnout for them from what I saw. And
Matthew Nance was over there, as Joey was saying.
yeah.
Started up front and drove it down in there and spun out right in front of the whole field.
Yeah, well, he
was trying.
He was trying. To give him that. He was trying. So that's good there. But again, for our local stuff here around us, Lakeview's not too far. So again, really glad to see Lakeview putting a lot of stuff up and getting a lot of these series to come over there and run. Man, that is really cool. And it seems like they're growing more and more over there every week. They have something else. So that is cool. And Speed 51 being partnered up with them, that's neat too. So definitely go check out Lakeview.
For sure. I know this weekend, guys, Florence Motor Speedway will be back in action over here for their weekly stuff. So who knows where we might end up this weekend, or if we end up at any, we might end up on a boat. Who knows? There ain't no telling.
That is very possible. I'm going to tell you that. It's been too long. I gotta have my boat fixed now.
As long as the wind ain't blowing 40 mile an hour again, or having 10 to 20 foot swells. As you say.
Yeah. I had that confused. Yeah. But hopefully we can get out there and hope everybody can enjoy the springtime while it lasts. For about 2 weeks, because before you know it, it's going to be 100 degrees.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, I walked outside. Was it yesterday? And I was like, "Good Lord, it's hot."
Yeah, it'll get there quick, that's for sure. But I enjoy it. I'm glad we got sunlight still now. It's nice in the evening. That's good to have, and everything's growing and blooming and nice, comfortable weather out. So that's good, man. Everybody wants to get out and go to the racetrack or go wherever, the beach, whoever, whatever. That's cool to be able to do that. So hope everybody's enjoying the spring.
For sure. Well, guys, again, want to thank everybody who comes on here and helps us. Like I said, SRI Performance, Stock Car Steel and Aluminum, Draco Springs, Earl Ramey Racing Engines. Also, Forward Bite Apparel. Y'all go check them out. Get all your cool racing swag there, as they say. They got more than just shirts and stuff. They also have some cool visor stickers for your helmets, koozies. We got some right here. A little bit of everything. So y'all head over to Forward Bite and get you some of that. Checkered, the race hub. Y'all go check Checkered out. They it's cool racing social media, as I tell y'all every week. It's growing. They have reformatted it now. It looks great. Nothing but racing on this platform there. It's great to see. It's growing. It's getting bigger and bigger. Gonna start doing some TV stuff on there. I know they've talked about. They even got up there Checkered TV. So it's cool to see what's happening in the future with Checkered. RMAX Solutions, all you race guys who have some fab shops or just fab machines, basically, in your shop. Check out RMAX Solutions. They can hook you up with anything you need to fix, repair, replace, buy new, any of those fab machines, basically. Any parts you need for them, they can they deal with about every brand out there. So give them a call. They will hook you up. Oh, what else we got?
Man, I think that's about it. That was a good show for sure. We really appreciate Joey calling in here and looking forward to continuing that relationship with him and getting to the track and hanging out and getting some cameras in his car and getting to know him a little more is pretty cool. But definitely everybody go check out Joey and follow him, like him, whatever, on Facebook and all the other things there. And you never know where you'll see him. You might see him on a dirt track. You might see him over here running a modified here in Florence. You don't never know. So keep up with him, and if he's around, go check him out. Really cool dude.
That fits us perfect, don't it? Because we don't know where we're going to be either.
That's right.
Well, cool, guys. Well, we I guess we're going to get out of here this week, and we appreciate y'all hanging out with us, and come check us out again next week. Also, be sure to go check out our website, getting some stuff on there. I'll be working on it, getting some videos and pictures and all that good stuff on there. It is, y'all get out a pen, just let you know. Go ahead. I'll give you a second. Get a pen and notepad. All right, y'all ready? Here it goes. www.chickenbonealleypodcast.com.
Not too bad.
Not too bad. It's long, but you can remember it. It's easy to remember.
Yeah, pretty sure you can figure that one out.
Y'all go check it out. We got some cool stuff on there. More coming up on there. We're just kind of getting it up and running. We're going to be adding more and more on there, so y'all go check it out. Please go on our YouTube page especially. We just put a new video up, like I said, Trent Ivey's in-car from Friendship Motor Speedway. Give us a like, subscribe, all that cool jazz on there so we can we like to be able to go live on whatever platform that we're on, because you never know when we're going to do that at the track. Sometimes it works out good on Facebook. Sometimes it works out good on YouTube. But we can't do it yet on YouTube because YouTube, you have to have so many subscribers. We don't have that many subscribers yet.
That's right. So go in there, log on your son or your daughter's name or
whoever's
whatever.
name. Just subscribe.
Just subscribe. Just go on and do it. We won't tell nobody. Just do it.
There ain't going to be nothing bad on there anyway. So
No.
So
it might be a Hooters. That's about the worst spot we're going to be. If it's a bad spot. I say it's not a bad spot.
I was fixing to say it's not bad, is it?
Not in my eyeballs, it's not.
All right, then. Well, I reckon, guys, we will be talking with y'all soon.
Later.